There we go. And the last time I had worked on the back room here, it was just this flimsy piece of styrene, cut ever so randomly. That's kind of the way it needs to go, but not quite. So what I started to do is just took another scrap piece of styrene, I laid it across the top here, marked out a couple edges, and just made some simple cuts. I took that out of the way, lined this up at the bottom, flipped this over, made a tracing of where the wall goes, or rather this floor edge here. So all I have to do is cut this out now, and I've got the basic ceiling. I'll run 2 walls below that, and of course the back wall as well. And that's pretty much all there is to creating this room. I expect that some kind of bevel will be needed to help protect it from the outside of the hull. That won't be a problem at all. And in cutting this huge area here for the fiber and any electronics to go through, if this door is open and you have the lid off, you can definitely see a gap there. So what I'm thinking about doing is, rather than running any kind of hole towards the bottom or along the middle, I'll run it actually out this area here, if not the actual top itself, because there's almost no angle you can get looking at the model once it's assembled that you'll be able to see things going on from there. And of course you won't have a nasty big hole sitting over there like that. Here's another couple things. After I cut the door out, I recently heard that there's going to be a 1/35th space pod for this kit. Well, it'll be sold independently, but it will be the same scale. So I was thinking, well, I'll cut out the space pod hatch here, and that will fit inside. Of course, the problem with that is that the hatch is over here under the freezer wall, and the space pod actually goes behind this wall here. So they don't quite line up. I realized that after I had started trying to cut this out here, and oh yes, what a really nice slash that is right there. I'll be able to fix that up. It's just basically a slip of the X-Acto blade. What I was doing for that was first start with a really fresh X-Acto and do a really light pass going down any edge that you're looking to cut. Once you've got that initial groove set, you can start applying slightly more pressure, but you never really want to do a lot. And essentially this is what happens if you use too much pressure. You get a nice slash going into the plastic. I may still cut this out because this could be good for a battery hatch or access to any internal power stuff. There's definitely room under here for any switches that might go with, say, the fusion core or any other options I might want to put in here. One of the things that makes cutting this particular section out a little more difficult is that, of course, you have an indentation on this side, but basically that's patched with a piece of plastic that's just as thick as the hull itself. So if I do this, and of course there's this reinforcing rib along here. So if I do slice this out, what I'll be doing is probably taking the Dremel, making an incision at each end here, and I might even take the cutting wheel and just try and thin down these edges so it's a little easier to cut through. As it is right now, the thickness of the plastic, it's just going to take forever for one side of that cut, never mind all four. But speaking of that, the wall here, where did it go? This piece cut fairly easily and quickly, and the results of which, if I can find the door, which I just put down and was immediately lost, here it is. The door itself is in really good shape after the cutting. Getting the rounded edges at the top was definitely a trick, and if you look close you can definitely see a little ragged edge here and there. However, the overall operation was a success, and any other little tough ridges going around here basically I just kind of filed those down a little to help make the door nice and even. Having the styrene backing there is definitely going to help out with any light leak, or that'll definitely help set it in place so that it looks like it really belongs and there's no gaps back there. So having stopped slicing out the space pod hatch, I did start to make a couple slices on the outer hatch here, the airlock. This is going to go much easier. While this has an indentation on the outside, they didn't simply cover that with another piece of plastic. So this door is actually half the width of the hull, which is really nice. You can see I've started making a couple cuts up there, excuse me. And that's going to go okay, but you can also see I used a little too much pressure, and right there I made a nice little slash. So I'm going to have to sand that out and otherwise get rid of it. It's not too tough an operation. It's definitely a disappointment though.